I believe the number one guest of all time who's appeared the most times is François Clemmons, and we're so happy to have him back one more time. Francois, come on in.
All right. Here I
Hi, Diva Man.
Oh, what a wonderful first half. It's so
Oh,
inspiring. Wonderful to see you, Amber.
oh, it's wonderful to see you. And you know what? You inspire me so much. Whenever I'm feeling down, I'm thinking, what would Francis do? Francois do. What would he do? And you just brighten me up.
You
And
would sing a song.
at least one.
Yeah, at least one. I mean, really, it's just been wonderful with Brad and with Randy, Yolanda, and some of that other stuff too. So fun.
Francois, what's going on in your life right now?
Well, I'm beginning to perform again. I feel healthy. I've been traveling. I went down to Brooklyn to do a performance. I went to what is it called? Franklin Pierce College. I did one. So I'm beginning to, my agency is going to book me out. I'm working on a second book and a third manuscript. So I spend a lot of time in this space. This is my office. And it's been very spiritual to write about prayer and the song that, Yolanda was singing about the light in her eyes. Such a beautiful image that I'll be thinking about that while I'm writing.
Your books, and you talked about manuscript. Any movie developments or TV, anything like that coming up?
Well, I don't want to speak too soon, but I did a children's book called Little Buttercup and the Magic King.
Ooh.
And a wonderful gentleman, Jason Williams, out in California, did the illustrations. They are gorgeous. Elizabeth is shopping that first volume to see if there's a public publisher interested, but it lends itself to animation. And quite frankly, I'm very excited about what Jason came up with. There's another book called Deep, Deep Thought, Deep something, which a woman, Bethany Hedges, down in Austin, Texas, she has written that is also being shopped. So I have a couple of children's books that should be out there. I'd say within the year they will be out, and hopefully another one of my manuscripts, which is like Officer Clemmons #2. I'm continuing to discuss how I grew outside of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And I think if people will find it a very powerful statement. It's not a children's book. Now, it's not about drinking beer and peeing, but it's an adult book. So everyone is warned. And so that keeps me busy.
If they were to make a movie of your first book, who would you like to see play you?
Oh my Lord! Well, Bo is the gentleman who played uh, Wakanda Forever.
Oh,
What
yes, yes.
was his name? Shucks. Anyway, I wanted him, and now I've got to look over the pickings and see who else I would like to have. Chadwick Boseman, somebody
Yes,
saved
yes.
me. Thank you. He was so handsome that he was perfectly me. Now I would do the singing, but he could appear on the camera.
You'd be his backup. You'd be behind him. Is
Oh,
that what
will
you're
I ever
saying?
have him backing up? I could be his backup. I thought he was so sweet. There was something
Mhm.
extraordinary about him. And
And the roles that he played were so diverse, and
yes,
but he gave everything to them.
yes. Oh, it's such a sweet thought. And he died too young. By our standards,
Much,
he died too young.
much, much, much. Oh, so you've got those book deals going on, and you're
Yes,
writing a lot. Anything else
yes.
going on?
Well, I've been traveling and singing, so I've started a project called 400 Years, and it's a collection of American Negro spirituals, and maybe approximately 9, 10, 11 spirituals. This has been a dream of mine. I'm working with a wonderful young man, Ronnie Romano, who just graduated from Middlebury College, and he's like a genius pianist, and so he's been accompanying me on these songs. And my dream would be to publish that album before I go on across to the other side. So he and I have been working on it. pretty faithfully with another project manager who's been organizing some of that stuff. But I get to sing things like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, This Little Light of Mine. He's got the whole world in his hand. I Just Come from the Fountain. They're just wonderful spirituals that I just love.
And
So,
you'd like to sing a song for us tonight. Tell us about this
well,
song.
as a matter of fact, I would. And I have to tell you, this is not a spiritual. My specialty are American Negro spirituals. But Dr. King's national celebration is coming up on January 16th. So that Monday, I
A
will
week
be
from
singing.
Monday.
And I thought it would be appropriate if I shared with you a song called Precious Lord, which was Dr. King's favorite song. Is that okay?
Yes, it is. Take it away.
All right. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I'm tired. I am weak. I am worn through the storm, through the night. Lead me home to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, and lead me home. When my life grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone, hear my cry, yeah, hear my call, hold my hand, lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, and lead me home. Amen.
Tell us the history of that song.
Well, it was written by Thomas Dorsey, who's considered the father of gospel music. And in the early 20s, to the best of my knowledge, his wife and his child were lost I think it was an automobile accident. And he went into a deep depression. You know, he used to play the piano in like a honky-tonk sites for Mahalia Jackson, and then he went with her to church. She wouldn't sing in those places. So he toured and played honky-tonk, and he became converted to a more religious statement for himself. And this Precious Lord is one of the first songs that he wrote, asked God to hold his hand, because he felt so distraught, he didn't feel he could go on.
And that just has stuck with the community.
Oh yes, he did other songs also, which I'm at a loss right now. I can't think of a couple of the other of his songs, but they were rather famous. But because they were gospel songs, it's not really my forte. But I love to sing those songs, and as a boy growing up, I sang. I don't know about tomorrow, but I know who holds my hand, and uh, uh, oh, the one that everybody loves. Amazing grace. And the reason I say it that way is that it was written by a white man, Newton. John. It was not by a black slave, because the slave songs were in the fields in the South and the plantations. And here we have this wonderful song, Amazing Grace, by a white man who used to be a slave trader, and he too had a conversion. And when he had the conversion, he no longer had slave ships, and he listened to the slaves, and he also tried to convert them to Christianity. He lived a very interesting life, traveling on his ships and all over from England down to the west coast of Africa to America. That was the route, and he changed. So that was another one of those great songs. But Thomas Dorsey is in that tradition.
What inspired you to learn the history of all these?
First of all, I'm a fanatic, and these songs were the kind of stuff that I wanted to know about Black American history, which I was not being taught in school. And so I had a high school teacher who said, "Well, you really want to read about Roland Hayes and Marian Anderson and Paul Robeson and Dorothy Maynard." She named all these. I never heard of these people. She said they're Black people and they love to sing opera, and they do concerts not only in America but in Europe and in Asia. And so she said she helped me find the books in the library, and they began to just give me one after the other. And that was my first basic learning experiences, because I couldn't get enough. And so I read everything I could get my hands on. The librarian was my friend, and she was passing them on as quick as I finished one. She gave me the other one. They also introduced me to the Harlem Renaissance in the 1920s, when you have Langston Hughes, Claude McKay, Countee Cullen, what's her name? Anyway, a bunch of the writers. And I began to read their poems. And many of the great inspired poems for Black people came from the Harlem Renaissance in the 20s. Well, that leads on you right on up to James Baldwin, and to what's her name? Toni
Tony,
Morrison, and the other writers. They all come out of that tradition in the 20s. And Maya Angelou, she was one of the outstanding writers who came a little bit later. But I read Maya Angelou and Gwendolyn Brooks out of Chicago, first Black woman to win a Pulitzer Prize. I just couldn't get enough. So this became my habit, my forte. I began to write about it, and I'd also write questions and ask them questions about what they were doing. And everybody was so generous and so forthcoming. And you know who was one of my most favorite singers? She's not in any of these categories. Was Nina Simone. And she had an anger and a fire, a smoldering quality. But when she said Mississippi goddamn, I knew what she meant by that. And there were a bunch of others that she sang that I just loved, Nina Simone. And I got to meet her and spend time with her. And she was so nice, but she wasn't nice to everybody. That's how she got her reputation. But she's not the only one. There are a lot of strong women, and a lot of times they get very negative reputations because they speak their mind. They tell you what to do, or get out.
which
Jesse
men would not be looked down on for doing that, because they were just doing it. Yes.
They were doing it. They never thought about it twice. They said he's a man, he's the boss. He tells you to do this, he tells you to do that. But when you have a woman like Diana Ross was like that, or you have Jesse Norman was like that, if she said she wanted something, you got it, you did it. And there are some others who insisted on things that made their lives very comfortable, certain amount of privacy, and a certain amount of respect and understanding. Because almost all of us spend a lot of time practicing. And, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I love practicing, rehearsing, doing what I'm doing. I do it every single day. This is my cave and my palace. And I just get up in the morning, and since I live alone, I just walk right from the bedroom and sit down and see what the universe wants me to write about.
Well, I think the universe wants you to sing another song. Is that
Oh,
possible?
yes, Lord. I'll sing. I have my book. I have it right here in front of me. I've been in the storm so long. I've been in the storm so long, chillin'. I've been in the storm so long. Lord, give me a little time to pray. I've been in the storm so long. I've been in the storm so long, chillin'. I've been in the storm so long. Lord, give me a little time to pray. Now, when I get to heaven, I'm gonna take my seat. Lord, give me a little time to pray, and I'll cast my crown at my Savior's feet. Lord, give me a little time to pray. I've been in the storm so long. I've been in the storm so long, chillin'. I've been in the storm so long. Lord, give me a little time to pray. Now let me tell my mama how I come along. Lord, give me a little time to pray with a humble heart and a broken soul. Lord, give me a little time to pray. I've been in the storm so long. I've been in the storm so long, chillin'. I've been in the storm so long. Lord, give me a little time to pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, Diva Man.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.